Hit that area siren. It's time for Monday Morning Fallout.
Why is this not working? Sorry.
Boy,
this thing is being weird.
Episode 433 is going great.
All right.
Episode 433 is going great. Monday Morning Fallout, where we overreact to everything from the football weekend, and there's quite a lot to overreact to. So let's get going, Max.
All right.
3 big thoughts. Thought number 1, grab bag. When I put together Monday Morning Fallout, I like to have one cohesive thought to kind of sum up the high school football weekend. It feels like there wasn't one this weekend. Like, I tried to draw it because it's like, on one hand, we knew it was a giant week of games. And a lot of the games didn't necessarily go the way we thought they were. Right. I thought that Westlake's win over Lake Travis was, I don't want to say an upset, but what I think it did is that
surprising.
It was surprising.
Yeah.
And I think it was surprising even to Westlake fans. And I would say that it cemented Westlake's status as a state title contender.
Yeah.
That was because before that game, who was their best win? They beat College Station in that opener that they cobbled together, which is such a weird game that it's nice.
It's a nice win.
It's a nice win,
yeah.
and it's one of those wins that out of context it looks amazing,
right.
But in context it's like, okay, it's a weird game. You get partial credit for that, right? There's that. And the other one's Vandegrift, which they're okay. They're okay.
Right.
We had questions about Westlake. They answered those questions, and what was really impressive to me, how many times have we seen Lake Travis get out-muscled? It doesn't happen a ton. For a finesse team and a team that's not necessarily known for its big, beefy offensive and defensive lines,
right.
They still hold their own.
Right.
They play everything. Even the most physical teams, they tend to play to a draw. Right? Westlake out-muscled Lake Travis, and really what might be the first time since that title game loss to Katy.
Yeah.
And so that was, to me, pretty surprising. That was a surprising thing. But again, there's no real cohesive theme that kind of went over the weekend. There were some big upsets. I thought, and I'm going to talk about one of them, Laredo United South's win over Laredo United was a whoa, what?
Yeah.
Type thing. And about what's funny is that halfway through at halftime of a lot of games, we were on the Slack chat, and we were talking about, man, there's some weird scores out there.
Yeah.
Okay, Temple was down to Brian Rudder.
Right.
And you're like,
what's going on? Yeah.
What's going on here? Grandview and Kemp was really close before Grandview hit the gas.
16-14 at the half or something like that.
It was low scoring, which we didn't expect. And then Grandview hit the gas.
Yeah.
If anything, if there was one thing that there was, is that I thought there were a lot of teams that we had questions about heading into it, and a number of them proved it. Right. I thought Pleasant Grove's win over Gilmer is
really impressive.
Super impressive.
Yeah.
At Gilmer, they don't lose there.
No.
That was impressive. I thought San Angelo Central's win over Midland Lee was emphatic and impressive.
Yep.
And they established themselves, I think, very clearly at the top, at least with Odessa Permian.
Yeah.
Overall, though,
Holiday
just thumping Nocona.
We weren't expecting that at all.
Yeah, I mean that there were. It's just weird. There was even Friday night, when I have to Fox makes me do a hit for high school score or a high school spotlight, and so I basically talking to the camera for 45 seconds, and I struggled to come up with a cohesive thought because it's there was just a lot of stuff happening.
There was a lot of stuff happening. It's hard to focus on one thing in particular as a huge result.
Yeah. So that's thought number 1. Thought number 2: the A&M mystery. And a mystery it is. Here's a weird question: is Texas A&M good?
Good enough.
This is such a mysterious team to me.
It's a hard team to understand.
Absolutely. Because on one hand, the record is actually really good. They're 5-2.
Right.
Their losses are to Alabama, by 8 points or whatever.
Yeah.
8 points. And then a 1-point loss on the road at UCLA.
Right.
And on the other hand, you watch them and you go, how do you guys win games?
Yeah.
What is it about A&M that they do really well?
They just win. I don't know what else to say. They find games to win that they should win.
Which is so polar opposite to what we've seen throughout the course, basically saved the Johnny Manziel year
Right.
of the Kevin Sumlin era.
Yeah.
Is that if a game is close, with the exception of Arkansas, if a game is close, they're going to find a way to screw it up.
Yeah.
But this group doesn't.
It's a hard team to gauge, and I think probably nothing more indicative of that than I watched the game against Florida.
Mm-hmm. It was gross.
It was an awful game. But you watched the second half. And I think almost universally everyone walked away from it going, wow, Kellen Mond, he's figuring it out. And then you go back and look at the stat line. He was 8 of 22.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what's so funny is that I had that exact thought, is that I've watched a fair amount of Kellen Mond, and I've been a pretty big skeptic of Kellen Mond.
Yes.
But I came away from that game being like, man, you know what?
They just found a way.
He's winning me over.
Yeah.
He's winning me over. And then you're exactly right. You go back and you look at the stat line. It's like ugly as
What did he
sin.
do that I like so much?
Yeah, exactly.
But they won.
Yeah. You know what he did that impressed me so much is that he didn't do stupid things.
I mean, I think that's important for a true freshman. Any true freshman, just don't make dumb mistakes.
I don't think he's an elite thrower. And you know what? I don't think he's an elite runner either. But you know what? He's just pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I fall on him. He won. It's weird because that was probably his worst game of the year.
Right.
Maybe not worst game of the year.
Not worst,
but it was not.
Wasn't great. It was his best.
That's not a game that he's gonna frame and put on his wall. But I think Kellen Mond did more to win me over in that game. I knocked over Dave to win me over in that game than any other game. I don't know. I don't. Really
I think I said when they went into that game, they're going to win this game like 16-15 or something. That was my joke, and they won 19-17.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's going to be a stupid score every week when they win these games. It's just not going to make sense, but they're going to find a way.
Yeah.
And hey, hats off to Coach Sumlin.
They found a way, and so the A&M mystery goes on. And like now they're coming home to take on a Mississippi State team that I think they're better than, and so they'll probably lose. Like, I have no feel for this team.
I don't know. They've beaten teams they're better than. I mean, the only team they haven't beaten that they were better in was UCLA.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's weird.
And it was on the road.
That's big thought number 2. Thought number 3, H-Town takeover. And who took it over?
Me.
Our own other guy.
Yeah.
Max, what did you went to? We talked on Friday about their Thursday game, but on Friday night you saw
North Shore and Atascocita, and then on Saturday I saw Manville and Marshall.
Overarching thoughts from your trip to Houston, besides eating at Spanish Flowers with Mike Craven?
Yes. Spanish Flowers was always awesome. And Kenny and Ziggy's.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Overall thoughts. North Shore and Atascocita are very talented football teams. News I'm breaking to everyone, I am sure. Jack Rowe, the quarterback for Atascocita, is the new Davion Boyd. I'm sort of amazed. We talk all the time about like schemes and offensive game plans that are sort of admirable and weird. And we talk about Gunter, right, like their triple option shotgun pistol look. And how tough it is to defend. I don't think Craig Stump and his staff get enough credit for the fact that they've essentially designed like 6 years worth of offenses going back to Westbrook around quarterback runs. And Jack Rowe is awesome. Like he does it. He does the thing that Davion Boyd did. He just runs like crazy against these teams. They get pinned up and he just breaks through.
We had highlights. We had highlights on scoreboard, and I remember seeing that, and I was like, you wonder, the big question about Atascocita is how do you replace a transcendent player like Davion Boyd? And it's like, here's Jack Rowe, and this isn't to take anything away from Davion Boyd, who's fantastic, but it's like, here's Jack Rowe, and it's like, yeah, this guy's doing the same thing.
It's pretty crazy to see in person. I think North Shore made a lot of mistakes that they're probably unhappy about, but I'd still bet on the talent on both teams to make deep runs in the playoffs. It's not. I think anytime you see them in a matchup with anyone else, you're going to be like, if they play well, they'll probably win that game, which is you can't say about everyone. And then Manville and Marshall, I've kind of talked to you guys offline about this. Those are the two best offenses in D1 and D2. At peak potential, I don't think anyone can match them. And I know how good Alito is. I know how good Denton Ryan is. I know how good College Station is. I know how good AM Consolidated is this year. But as far as offenses go, good Lord. Deneric Prince, the running back for Manville, who's a guy we haven't talked a lot about because he's just a junior. He was a sophomore year last year, so didn't play quite as much. Might be my new favorite player. He plays with an attitude, which I love. I love Jabari James and Marshall. I talked to you. He seems like just one of the craziest competitors I've ever seen on a football field, which, we said, it can be a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing for Marshall. Manville won that game handily and ran away, but I think as long as Marshall keeps their heads up and keeps playing well, they can make it to state in D2. Those are two really. I mean, and Manville's my D1 favorite.
The thing that strikes me about Manville whenever we have highlights of them on Fox is a lot like Judson. That speed is just so overwhelming.
And
it's like and now when you see Marshall's got crazy speed too.
Right.
But it's like Jalen Preston is like on a field full of fast guys.
Right.
He's just a step faster than everyone.
He's got a good understanding of space. I mean, he's a really special player. You understand it when you see it from up high, and you can kind of see where he's finding holes in the defense. Look, Cason Martin, really good. Really big quarterback, really big arm. A lot of fun to watch. Didn't make the best decisions, but I'm sure that's something that he knows, and they're going to work on down the stretch too. So, I mean, overall, really encouraged by the 5 teams I really went to see, Westfield being the other one we talked about on Friday. But I think all of them, if they played their potential, can be state finalists.
Those are 3 big thoughts. 3 helmet stickers. Helmet sticker to Dallas Woodrow Wilson quarterback Cade Fennegan. 313 yards and a touchdown passing, plus 105 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground for Woodrow. North Texas quarterback Mason Fine. If you did not watch the 4th quarter of UTSA in North Texas,
you missed out.
It's on ESPN3. You can stream the replay. Do it. And what Mason Fine did in that, and I will tell you, I think he got lucky on that long pass play down the.
Sure, but that was but
he got a little.
You got to have a little luck somewhere.
It goes basically just over the hands of the UTSA defender and into the hands for a 49-yard gain. You go and you watch that last throw that he makes, and he is a quarter second away from getting
annihilated,
absolutely crushed
by
a dude who is 7 times his size.
Right.
And he stands in there and he fires a strike to Rico Bussey. And
it was basically a fadeaway on a crossing route. It was pretty impressive.
And they score with 10 seconds left for the biggest win in Apogee Stadium history. Mason Fine definitely gets a helmet sticker. And a helmet sticker to Killeen Ellison athlete Tavon Gwynn. Did a little bit of everything. 116 yards and 3 touchdowns rushing, 104 yards passing, and he caught 5 passes for 110 yards receiving for Ellison. 3 teams to watch. Watch out for Huntsville. We had questions, and I was like, okay, I think that's a perfect example of a team I'm like, okay, I'm not sure they're as good as their undefeated record indicates.
And that's going to be a wide-open brawl in that district. So,
but then they go and they beat Magnolia. And that's a nice win. They played enough defense to get a high-powered Magnolia offense. Watch out for Huntsville. Watch out for Midwestern State. They go on the road and beat Angelo State in San Angelo.
Nice
Not easy for them.
They have back-to-back huge wins with the Commerce win and the Angelo win, and have dropped 1 place in the heat check.
And
amazingly.
Suddenly, go take a look at the Lone Star Conference standings and look who's at top. It's not A&M Commerce. It's Midwestern State. Watch out for Midwestern State.
Putting together a special season there.
And finally, watch out for Pleasanton. Pleasanton is undefeated, 6-0. Nice win over Rockport Fulton this past week. A gutty defense-first win. Watch out for Pleasanton. They're on a roll. 3 teams to worry about. Laredo United. I know it's a rivalry game, and United South is a big rivalry, and this is actually now United South has won the last 2.
Yeah.
But this was a bizarre game. The offense just kind of no-showed. I expected more from this Longhorns offense. I'm a little worried about Laredo United because now all of a sudden they get thrust into that kind of district mixer. Yeah. You never really know where they're going to come out. Worried about Houston. That was a turd.
It was so bad.
How do you go to...
What was that?
Again, we said it on Thursday.
Oh.
We said on Thursday that, if you're not paying attention, Houston versus Tulsa should be this really fun, amazing game.
Yeah.
But Tulsa stinks this year.
Yeah.
And Houston went up there and got mollywopped. The offense no-showed.
Abused.
It's terrible. I'm really worried about Houston. And Anson, supposed to be the district frontrunner, goes down to Stamford in the win. Great win for the Bulldogs, but you wonder what Anson's doing after a 10-win season. Now all of a sudden their place in the district hierarchy is a little bit up for grabs. So a little worried about Anson, and that is Monday Morning Fallout.